Hi, I'm Michaela Moran, owner of Days of May Florals, an event floral design company. And today I'm back with another flower video using local product. And I thought, what better flower to use here at the end of July than zinnias. They are beautiful, they're hardy, they're plentiful. We're in Zone 7B in Maryland, and they're just looking gorgeous right now, and the colors are beautiful. So I thought, why not just only use zinnias, stick with that. I feel like when you use just one flower type, it can be really impactful, whether you're using one flower type and only one color, or you're using one flower type and then, using a lot of different colors. Or in this case, when I requested these flowers from my local farmer, I asked for this colorway of just a range of yellows, peachy tones, oranges, but there's so many other colors that zinnias come in, brighter reds and whites, and so many new ones with really nuanced colors nowadays. So you could really do a lot with just one flower type. And you can see there, this one has a little bit of brown undertones in there, which if you've been sticking around here for a while, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I love flowers with brown undertones. I feel like it really softens brighter palettes and makes them a little bit more nuanced and special and romantic, which I always love in floral design. But yeah, so today I thought we could use just the zinnias and do just a collection of bud vases. This is something you could do for your home if you're just doing one, or if you're putting a bunch together for a dinner party or even a wedding or any other kind of event. We're using the Holly Chapel bud vases, which I really love. I love the shapes, the different sizes. For example, like this one here versus this one here, you're going to be able to get a lot more flowers in this one, whereas this, not so much. But sometimes you want that. That way you can highlight just a few and maybe have a larger cluster. So yeah, I thought we'd do some bud vases today because we haven't done that. And our zinnias are coming from Shelly from Sunnyside Florals, or Sunnyside Farm. Yeah. They're just looking absolutely beautiful. And if you're wondering, I have a bucket in this basket. I got these baskets a couple of years ago at Target. I don't think they make them anymore, which is unfortunate because they fit like a standard black flower bucket perfectly. And so I just popped the bucket in here, but that's another video. Those are great for, large ground arrangements, entrance arrangements, aisles, doorways, etc. And it's nice that you can just put a bucket in, put chicken wire, call it a day. So, all right, so let's get into it. I figured, yeah, I'm just gonna start with whichever ones are kind of grabbing my attention. I think I'm gonna start with these larger ones versus, as you can see, we have some smaller ones with like a little bit daintier of a stem, so I might save those for taller ones. But yeah, let's go ahead and fill out some of these larger ones. And I don't know, we'll see. I might color block, I might not. So you you can see I'm just cutting them at different lengths and popping them in. And bud vases are, I don't want to say easy because I feel like people tend to want to go DIY them for their wedding and then realize that they're a ton of work. But they're easy in the sense that typically it's just water in there, and if you don't like something, you can just pull it right back out and try again. Whereas if you're working with foam or chicken wire in a bigger arrangement, sometimes that can feel just a little bit more final and maybe a little scarier. But yeah, you can really just have fun and move things around. Pretty. So right now I'm focusing on the two that are the same shape, and I'm keeping them fairly similar in color, with mainly these. That's a pretty yellow, very bright in comparison to these more brown muted ones, you know. And that's a beautiful color on its own, but I feel like when you have it next to one that has brown undertones, you then see this so much more, and then you see this one so much more. You know, you need that little bit of contrast sometimes to really see how pretty something is. So there's another one, and again, just kind of staggering stems. Probably add another, too similar. That might work over here. Staggering stem heights. Got a couple different heights going on there. Then we could move into, so sweet. I love just the white and the bright pops of color, and I even love the basket. I think if I was, if this was for an actual wedding, I would love to combine these materials. Maybe also some beeswax candles. I love the color of beeswax candles with just very summery things, even fall. I feel like it adds another color that feels very natural. So I'm doing, now I'm kind of bouncing around, doing different shapes. This is, there's a little bogey on here. This is taller one, and so I'm really trying to let these stems, you know, be the tallest and kind of emulate what's going on in the vase itself, which is a taller, more vertical vase rather than these more squat vases. And let's see. Now I'm starting to, I'm looking for the right colors. Now I'm starting to color block a little. I've got the yellows, peachy orange tones in here. I'm gonna make these round ones all pink. And then the more vertical ones, I was just working on a mix. So that's very cute. I like doing, if it's, you know, not a lot of pieces, not a lot of flowers, I like doing an odd number, so 3 of something, 5. I'm using Zinnias now, or as a lot of people say, Zinnias, but I grew up saying Zinnias, so can't change that. But there are so many beautiful flowers blooming right now. Even if it's not like a focal or disc type flower like this, you could do so much with grasses and beautiful weeds. I know that sounds crazy, but there's just so much you could do with anything that's growing out there. And I think this is a good example again of using one type of flower or thing, whether that's, you know, a flower or a grass, weed, etc., and doing it in mass, and that it makes a really beautiful impact when you do that. One more little squat vase, and I don't have a ton of this orange color, so I think I'm going to reserve it for that one and just do one that is all orange. Okay. We're back in the studio again this time. We still have lots of renovating and things to do that will hopefully happen over the next few months. But you know, we also have summer vacations, house projects, and weddings. So, you know, like everything, we have to figure out stuff like this. That's not exactly a priority because it's workable, it's just not visually where I want it to be. It's not a super high priority, so it kind of falls down the list when there's other, you know, actual wedding work to do. All right, so I think we have a really nice collection here. Everything looks so happy and cheerful. So I'm going to arrange them. You can see like these more vertical ones, I just did all different heights. I left some with leaves, some without. I did a mix of colors in these guys, and I left them tallest, whereas these have a wider opening. I filled them up, kept them those orange, or the muted orange and yellow colors, and these guys I just kept those peachy pink and then one orange, which is so pretty. So yeah, you could arrange these in a million different ways. You could scatter them throughout an event or cluster them together. Ideally, I would always want to kind of group things together, either like this or at least, you know, diagonally next to each other. And I think I put this orange in between and move this basket. And I did brought some candles so we could have a little final touch. But yeah, that looks very sweet. And that was, you know, pretty easy. You just have to keep in mind those design principles of line, shape, height, and you know, we've got our line here, we're focusing on different shapes, got our different heights. We're thinking about color, and even though I did a lot of color blocking here, you could also just not think about it at all. That's, you know, one of the beauty of using one variety of flower. You could just, you know, focus on the shape of the flower. and I'm using just some basic photos here today, but instead of clear, I opted for frosted, which I've really been liking lately. Just adds a nice soft glow. I hope you can see that a little bit. But yeah, there you have it. Zinnias, we're at the end of July, Zone 7B in Maryland, with, you know, a beautiful display of color, and we just kept everything else super simple. And I think this really has a wonderful impact for, you know, just using simple things and going with one of my favorite sayings, which is less is more. And I think that really works for us here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you can go out and try it for yourself with, you know, one type of flower, weed, grass, anything you have in your yard, and see what you can come up with. Yeah, so I will be back, hopefully earlier than this time. Hopefully I'll be back soon for an August video, but this is July, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So that's it. Have a good one. Bye.